You may proceed. Thank you.
This complaint arises out of a assault and battery case in Dorchester District Court. In March of 2003, I was assaulted by my ex-girlfriend and filed a complaint with the Boston Police Department, which then filed an evidentiary hearing before Dorchester District Court. June 18th of 2003, First Assistant Clerk-Magistrate Dennis Sullivan held a hearing when the other party, Sherry Walker, claimed that admitted that she attacked me, physically assaulted me. She then claimed it was allegedly in defense of an initial assault by me. In violation of Chapter 218, Section 35A, Clerk-Magistrate Sullivan issued a criminal complaint for assault and battery against myself and assault and battery with a deadly weapon against Sherry Walker. I protested and he refused to allow me to appeal the matter immediately to a justice of the clerk. In further violation of firm cases, he stated that he was going to hold the matter delayed until July 29th because myself and Sherry Walker had a probate matter hearing. On July 29th, we appeared again in Dorchester District Court in front of Clerk-Magistrate Sullivan, who issued the complaints. I was appointed counsel for the matter, Attorney Daniel O'Connor. I informed him of the problems I had in Dorchester District Court that since 1995, my rights were being violated by First Justice Sidney Hamlin, and that this was just another act of in a series of acts of conspiracy against me. I asked him to file a motion to dismiss the complaint against myself, which he did not. And as a result of his action, I was coerced into accepting a plea bargain. So what I did is both matters were dismissed in March of 2004. I filed a complaint to have the complaint against myself expunged, but I argued that Clerk-Magistrate Sullivan's actions were an act of fraud because I had no authority to file a criminal complaint against myself, and therefore it caused fraud and deceit upon the court in the prosecution of the case and the entire handling of the case. As a result of Attorney Daniel O'Connor's actions, I filed a civil complaint against him in Suffolk Superior Court. That matter was a motion to dismiss was filed in Suffolk Superior Court, which was granted, which I appealed to the appeals court. The appeals court argued that at the maximum, they would argue I would probably get $5,500 in as far as monetary damages. So he suggested that I take the matter to Dorchester District Court, which I did. In Dorchester District Court, I initiated the complaint against Attorney Daniel O'Connor. They dismissed the matter after several weeks, and I filed a complaint. I filed a notice of appeal. That was in 2006. To date, the Dorchester District Court, the clerk's office of Dorchester District Court, has refused to forward the matter to the appeals court, as well as they refused to forward my appeal of the expungement, dismissal on vacation, and expungement of the criminal complaint against myself, as well as reconsideration of the criminal complaint against Sherry Walker. This has been an ongoing matter since 1995 in this court. I've been in this court, this is the fourth time in the past 2 years, and each matter, despite the specifics, pertains to the failure and refusal of Dorchester District Court to provide me with court documents and tapes. In the related matter concerning the restraining order, it has been the same situation. I've had a restraining order for 5 years, and in March we'll make in May we'll make 6 years I've had a restraining order without getting an appeal. This is a basic violation of my constitutional rights to due process. I was in this court in November concerning a similar situation, and the argument was made that I'm not creating a record to substantiate what I say. And as I said then, I say now, I'm in a catch-22. I'm filing a complaint that Dorchester District Court will not provide me court documents and records. And this court says, well, you're not providing court documents and records to prove that you're not getting court documents and records. The only documentation I can provide to this court are letters and motions that I've written to the court. But even then, I would argue that it's not really evidence because Dorchester District Court won't give me a stamped receipt. So all I have is a blank copy of a printed report that I have from my computer. And this is, again, being dragged out in such a long term that I'm being denied copies of the tape because through this long, drawn-out process, the tapes are being destroyed in the process. In Suffolk Superior Court, so that I would satisfy the rules for Chapter 211, Section 3 of this court, I filed a complaint in Suffolk Superior Court, docket 1315 of 2007, requesting the court there to order Dorchester District Court to give me court documents and tapes and to forward the records, the cases for which I filed a timely notice of appeal. Justice Broussard, as opposed to issuing an order to order the clerk's office to do so, he requested the Office of the District Attorney, of the Attorney General, to work in conjunction with the Administrative Office of the Trial Court, which, again, is in violation of Article 30 because separation of the powers. The Attorney General's office can't issue an order or force the clerk's office to do anything. Only the court can do that. They refuse to issue the order, but the trial court, Administrative Trial Court, did issue an order on April 9th that they want the clerk's office to provide me with the requested court tapes and documents, as well as to forward the cases to the appeals court that I had filed timely notice of appeals. That was in 2007. To date, they still have not done it. And again, in the meantime, the clock is running out on my ability to get court tapes.
Have you ordered the court tapes?
I have completed the order form. This issue came up before this court when I was saying November 3rd. The problem I have is the court order form has 4 parts. One part is supposed to be my receipt. I am never given a copy of the receipt. Their argument or their explanation to me is when I come to pick up the tapes, I sign for it, and that shows that I received it. I have nothing. The only thing I have is the order form that I give them, and they give me no receipt, no documentation that I've made the tapes. So I have no evidence. I have no physical evidence to show that I've made these tapes.
Ordered the tapes?
I've ordered the tapes. Unfortunately, I didn't get a receipt that I ordered the tapes, and the tapes have never been provided, despite the order from the Administrative Office of the Trial Court. And the same thing goes for the documents. It was ordered. This case is somewhat complicated because the parties have bounced from court to court, from the district court to, as I've stated previously, in Suffolk Superior Court, to matters in the probate court. In the probate court, I did have a fee waiver that allowed me to order the tapes and get them transcribed. So therefore, the issue of payment was not an issue as far as me obtaining the tapes.
Did you order the tapes in time? And I forget what the date, how much time they keep these tapes, but they don't keep them forever.
Yes, and in fact, I did receive an order. In the order from the Administrative Trial Court, they issued a, I guess you can argue, an injunction to not destroy the tapes or eliminate the tapes until the issue had been resolved. Unfortunately, I've been informed that the tapes are supposedly held for 2 years. Some have said 30 months. But either way, before the time period had expired, the clerk's office of Dorchester District Court has said the tapes were destroyed. So there are several tapes that I couldn't get even when I filed the form in the allotted time period.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. Ms. Balakrishna.
Good morning, Your Honors. Annaparna Balakrishna on behalf of the Administrative Office of the Trial Court, representing the Dorchester District Court's Clerk's Office. As Your Honors are aware, this is an appeal. It's a single justice's decision to deny the extraordinary relief contemplated by Chapter 211, Section 3, based on Mr. Watson's failure to provide a record of his allegations that he was unable to file a notice of appeal and that the records weren't sent over to the appeals court. Now, the allegations about the refusal to provide court documents and court tapes do stem from another matter, which we were in front of you in November of this year. And after that case, in preparation for this argument on Tuesday, I went to the Dorchester District Court to see, number one, what the procedure was to obtain court documents and tapes, and number two, whether those tapes had in fact been copied. As Mr. Watson did indicate to you, there is a 4-part form, and I do have it here. I have copies. Each form has a different color depending on where it goes. The blue copy is the copy that goes to the requestant. This will be the blue copy. I went to Dorchester District Court, and I did see a box in the Clerk-Magistrate's office containing volumes of different cases that have been already copied for Mr. Watson and tapes that have been copied for Mr. Watson, including the tapes that he is requesting in this case. I also have copies of the request forms that he made. I wasn't able to bring the entire copy with me because it is a property of the court, but I did make a photocopy of it. But when I did look at the 4 parts of that copy, the blue part was gone, indicating that it had been given to somebody. Mr. Watson said he was never given the form, but it is the court's procedure to give the blue copy to the person who is requesting it. Now,
At the time they
Yes.
file it.
at the time they asked for it, yes.
Because we don't know whether, we don't know what happened to that blue copy.
No, we don't know.
He may not have gotten one.
He may not have gotten one, but the court doesn't have it.
But you're saying nonetheless, the tapes are there.
The tapes are there, and apparently, according
Does
to...
one have to pay for them to pick them up?
No, the order says that rush and the fee was waived. in both
So
cases.
Mr. Watson could go to the court and get his tapes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, they're not going to give them to him, apparently.
Well, he has not provided any documentation that he was refused the tapes.
Well,
The tapes are there. They've been copied for him, and not only the tapes have been copied for them, Your Honor, but also multiple cases, dockets and criminal dockets, probate.
Can you help him get his tapes?
How? By going there and bringing them to him?
Whatever, well,
Well, let me suggest this, Ms. Balakrishna. It would be very helpful if what you have told the court today, you could just put in a written statement. I don't know whether you had any conversations with the clerk, but I take it that the written statement being not just that you went, that you saw the documents and so on and so forth. I take it that it's your understanding that as of now, there's no impediment to Mr. Watson going to the Dorchester District Courts and being handed the copies of the tapes and copies of the documents. Am I correct?
It's my understanding, Your Honor, since April 2007, that he has been able to do that.
wait a minute.
But I'm talking about as of now.
Isn't the impediment that he does not have the blue sheet to present?
I'm not sure that's the impediment. All I was saying, Your Honor, is that the blue sheet was given to him.
Is
So-
it your understanding? Is it your understanding? And I'm not asking you to represent, but other than the fact that you represent the Dorchester District Court, that there is no impediment if Mr. Watson went on Monday morning and said, "Please give me those tapes and please give me the box."
It's my understanding that there is no impediment, and there has not been.
I recognize that Mr. Watson represents himself. Might it be possible for you to arrange with Mr. Watson a time when a representative, when somebody representing the Dorchester District Court could be at the courthouse for the handing over of the tapes and the volumes?
I can definitely ask.
I think that would be most helpful, whether it's you or somebody else. I think that what would not be helpful was simply to say to Mr. Watson, you can go at any time. I think it would be helpful to arrange a time when he can go, where we can keep a record of what was handed to Mr. Watson.
Sure. Yes, Your Honor.
And
I
if
will
and if
arrange.
you could, if that's acceptable, if you could inform the court whether that offer has been made, if the offer has been accepted, and I hope that it will, Mr. Watson, that you can go and get the tapes and the volumes, and then just send us a notice that the tapes and whatever documents they are have been handed to him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Ms. Balakrishna. Thank you, Mr. Watson. And Mr. Watson, so my understanding is that you will get some communication from Ms. Balakrishna or her office asking you to meet at a particular time. Okay?